We had some trouble lifting our anchor again. A fishing line and a net got stuck in the anchor and chain. We were able to lift it, but had to cut out a line that was twisted around the anchor chain.
So, what's stuck in the anchor?
Yeah, look here. A whole bunch of...
Bravo!
Yes, wow!
Woo! There was a fire alarm.
Going off, and I ran down to see what it was because I did not recognize the sound. I thought it was the VHF. Then I came here, I smelled this smoke,
Plastic.
smoke. So I turned to the fire alarm, and that's where our flashlight is hanging. So it's normally here, and I see that it's on, and there's all this smoke coming out.
So this flashlight is super
burns.
powerful. Look at that. And just burn the hole. Put it in. You see how
Like
fast it
this.
goes when you're not here.
Yes.
Look, it's all burnt through. Oh, we were lucky. And the fire alarm went off. Otherwise, our boat was
Yeah, it's a
on
good
fire.
thing that it is just hanging underneath the fire alarm, so it went off immediately.
Crazy.
Wow.
So this flashlight is locked, but apparently it unlocked itself in this case. So I'm going to send pictures
Shaking.
to email in.
That was too much sensation for today. Just after we lost the fish on the hook.
Damn.
We figured that because of the movement of the boat, the button on the flashlight got switched on by the friction against the case. We were very lucky that we noticed this in time and nothing else caught on fire. We will definitely make some adjustments so this cannot happen again. Sailing along the east coast of Martinique was completely different from what we had seen here before. This site seemed more remote and less touristic. New for us there were the many treacherous reefs to look out for. Our first stop was in the Baie des Onglets. It was somewhat challenging for us to sail into the bay, with the many reefs and some very undeep spots by the entrance. But we did well, and it was definitely worth it. This was a very quiet and calm bay, the perfect place to rest after our stressful day.
It was a little bit tricky for the entrance. We had depth meters at 1 meter, and I almost sure that the 1 meter is under the keel because my draft is 1 meter and 34 centimeters. So there were rocks, and let's say 1 meter. So now it's still 1.1 meter. Let me show you. So the entrance here was a little bit tricky. It says 3 meters, but it was only 1 meter, And now we have 1 meter. It's very protected. It's a very protected anchorage. On the sea it was rough. And now we are in some sort of paradise.
The water wasn't very clear and therefore not very inviting to swim in, but this was a nice spot for some fishing. The water was so calm here, it was as if we were on a pond. We could see some big fish jumping out of the water close to the boat, but the kids didn't manage to catch any. The entire bay was surrounded by mangrove trees, which were full of birds, so beautiful to see. In the evening, we made a tour around the bay with our dinghy. That might be a little bit too close, eh? My love. Ah!
Sugar sweet, you got what I need. Sipping on the potion, all that good emotion, just my kind of heat. Keep it on repeat, destined by the motion, loving this devotion. Live it up, live it up, live it up, sweet emotion. Every time, every night, you and I on a roll. Switch it up, switch it up, switch it up, where I'm going. Stay on the fly, just in time, know the right way to go. I'm on the road, it's my time, taking control of my life. I want to run the red lights, I've got to run this show. You always take me so high, you always make the highlights. I love the way we vibe, you're like a centerfold. Ooh, that sugar sweet, you got what I need. Sipping on the potion, all that good emotion.
Hi! We had an amazing quiet night here in Baie des Anglais. It's a really nice calm bay here. We did some work in the morning. The kids did their schoolwork. We had lunch, so now it's around noon and we are going to leave for the next bay. The bottom here was obviously muddy. Our anchor was completely covered in thick mud, but this would wash away soon enough once we were sailing. We sailed back out of the bay following the same course as yesterday when we came in. To pass through the narrow part in between the reefs, we had to sail straight into the waves, which made it very bumpy at some point. Not long after we sailed out, we had trouble again.
I think the sail is broken.
Woo! Yeah, we ripped our mainsail. It's broken. We did not rip it, but where it's attached to the boom, it just popped. So now we have the first reef line. Let's try this. The other reefs you can pull if you want. The reef line. So what happened was, I was hoisting the mainsail. I lifted the boom a little bit, and then I took the electric winch to hoist the mainsail, and in the end I wanted to make the front of the mainsail very tight, and I was just hoisting and that was making a little bit of sound, knack, 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 and then bang! The ring, I think it's the ring that is attached from the boom onto the mainsail. That ring just split it in two, collapsed, so that was flapping. So now we are sailing in the first reef, doing 5 knots. Let me show you.
After all this commotion, we further enjoyed our trip. But since we were still in between the reefs, we had to pay close attention not to hit anything.
It gets a little bit tricky here. We have to go in between those 2 islands, and it's still at 17 meters.
Islands, they're reefs.
Oh!
They're reefs, they're not islands.
So we have to sail in between those 2 reefs, and you cannot see them. There you can see the other reef, and here is another reef, but it's almost out there. You can see it breaking a little bit, and then the buoy, and we go just next to that buoy. I'm happy that I'm not stuck on the reef. This is crazy. Look at the waves, the reefs, everywhere. I'm glad that I have the forward scan, so I can see the depth in front of me.
Sailing into the Bay of Le Vauclin in between the reefs was even more spectacular than yesterday, but again, well worth it.
Kids in the mangrove trees. Okay, Sky, are you gonna jump too? Okay. Hey, what are you gonna do?
I'm gonna jump off a tree in
Okay,
water.
yeah, good. Okay, I'll film you, okay? Yeah, man.
make you feel right at home. Honey, does it well. Keep me dancing till I'm
Look at
dead.
that!
I could run a mile like this. That overused feels like this.
To enter the next bay, we had to pass through a weird floating gate. Pretty confusing to find the entrance at first, but once we were in, it was all calm water there.
Ain't looking back. Ain't looking back. Ain't looking back. Yeah.
We eventually ended up staying there for a couple of days before heading back to St. Anne for one final time before continuing our journey to another island.
The laws above. Nature shows me, makes me tall.
There's the squall, just passed over us. But there it's already blue again. But we're soaking wet. We had a good shower.
Ain't looking back. Ain't looking. Ain't looking.
Once the squall had passed, it was a pretty smooth ride back to St. Anne.
Ooh, ain't looking back. Ain't looking back. Ain't looking back. Ain't looking back. Ain't looking back.
Thank you for watching and stay tuned for our next episode where we spend our last days in Martinique and prepare to sail further south to get out of the hurricane belt. If you wish to show your appreciation for the work we put into our videos, you can buy us a virtual drink by clicking the link in the description below. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already done so.